Hey, sports fans, football season is here, and it's time to get in on the action with MyBookie.net. MyBookie has real Vegas odds and incredible player props for all your favorite sporting events. MyBookie offers in-game live action on all pro and college football games. There's no better time to join MyBookie than today. Pull out your smartphone and visit our user-friendly mobile site for adrenaline on demand. Open your browser and type in MyBookie. What are you waiting for? Call 844-722-2387 or go online to join MyBookie today. No deposit necessary. Terms and conditions apply. Play for fun only. Void where prohibited.
Hi, this is Jim Feist in Las Vegas. I've been making my clients money for the past 45 years. I'm releasing a special 3-day trial right now on SBTVNation.com. I've isolated the top 5 college and pro football games on the board, and I absolutely love these games. Go to SBTVNation.com right now and click on the 3-day trial button for your exclusive package of winners.
Have a product, service, or website to advertise on the biggest show in the world? The SBTV Nation podcast reaches tens of thousands of the best sports fans on the planet in over 194 countries worldwide. Take your business to the next level by advertising with us. Call us now at 872-529-SBTV or email us at sbtvnation@gmail.com.
Studio check.
Frequencies check.
We are live on air.
You are listening to the It Factor blessing the airwaves. Take the journey into the world of sports, news, entertainment, while embracing the hottest beats on the planet. Rocking the mind, body, and with energy, electricity, and a splash of controversy. Now, without further ado, it's our pleasure to bring to you
the biggest show in the world.
The biggest show in the world.
The biggest show in the world. The SBTV Nation.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Happy weekend to you. It is Saturday. It is the break of one of the biggest college football games we've ever had, and we are looking forward to breaking it down along with the big card. You got a little Mary J in the background because I'm getting ready for the big show tonight, and I got my guys on the line. First off, I've got Dr. Dan. Welcome back to the show, brother.
Thanks for having me back, man. Sounds great. I still... Mary J over Clemson, Louisville. All right.
I know, man. And I got the Dream on as well. What's up, Dream?
Hat just tried to sneak that in and let it flow real easy, but you are not going to get by with going to Mary J. First of all, SBTV Nation, understand that your boy is going to Mary J. Blige tonight.
I'm going to see Mary J. tonight.
We get on and we do our little powwow before the show. So all of a sudden, Hat just slips out real easy, tried to slide in. Oh, I'm going to Mary J. tonight. And then started talking more about some games. And I said, what? Huh? Then he threw out, the tickets are free.
I got free tickets tonight, Mary J. Blige.
Like that was supposed to be. Oh, all right. Well, then don't worry about Louisville Clemson this game. Because the tickets are free. I'm like, wait a minute, player. Nah. So now
it's like the same thing as having like free tickets to like Fleetwood Mac. It's like, I'm just going to find a way to lose them tickets.
Not going to be a Mary J tonight crying. I ain't going to cry no more. You know, Mary J got all them. I hate my man. I could do good on my own chest.
He's going to be interrupting some special bonding moment.
I'm gonna be sitting in the middle of that, looking at his phone, trying to get his score.
Here's my advice to you, Hat: is to drink one of them girly drinks, and just blend in.
Yeah, very funny, guys. Well, you know what? I plan on making all my money during the day.
Don't be shocked if Mary stops in the middle of the show and points to your wife and be like, "Girl, is your man on his phone during my?"
Definitely not, Dream. And I'm looking forward to seeing all the scenery over there as well. going to be a lot of fun there.
Oh, that's your other issue.
Yeah.
You better find a good pair of sunglasses.
Son, you better be in there with the darkest Ray Charles-ish looking type.
Your wife be having you in horse blinders, man.
Oh, man. Good morning to you guys. This is a sports show, just in case you don't know. Just in case you're just tuning in to the biggest show in the world. You are listening to the It Factor, 194 countries strong, the SBTV Nation. We are looking forward to a big slate of college football. But before we do that, Dan, we got to talk real quick about the MLB, considering the fact that we've got 2 games left in this long, very long season that we've had. And all the wild card races are basically coming down to the wire here. So I'd like to get your thoughts, first of all, on the AL, where we've got, basically, you've got Baltimore 1 game up over Toronto, as Toronto's lost 3 games in a row now. You got Detroit a half a game out, and you got the Seattle Mariners only 1 game out of the wild card. Talk to me, Dan.
Which is nuts. So, Toronto. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, you're choking. Just straight choke at the worst possible time. If Seattle gets in there, that's scary. I mean, Toronto still scares you. To me, Baltimore's not that scary.
Right.
Detroit's also scary.
Yes.
Detroit can beat you in a game. I think if it's Detroit-Baltimore, Detroit takes that. I really do. And then I'm not loving the Indians. Me and my dad are with you, Hatter. We're both loving Boston out of the AL still, no matter what.
All right.
Even though Texas did clinch home field throughout.
They did. So now Texas has home field throughout. But look, I'm still, obviously, I have my concerns about Boston. But, my dad's been watching this game for, 55 years. I've been doing this for a long time. And it's like, there's just a team sometimes that can just bludgeon you to death. There were the Angels, back in the day. The Yankees had some teams like that with some not-so-great pitching where they just murdered you with the bats. Boston looks real good. Absolutely. And moving over to the National League, we got the top 3 teams still alive. We got your New York Metropolitans, we got the San Francisco Giants, and we got the St. Lucia Cardinals, who are 1 game behind San Francisco. 2 games left, Dan. Mets are riding a 3-game winning streak and got the Philadelphia Phillies the next 2 days. My concern that I expressed to you before we went on the show, and I expressed this yesterday on our show, is that I'm scared to death of Madison Bumgarner coming into Citi Field. I don't like the situation. The Mets,
I love it.
You love it, huh? Enlighten me, please, because give me a little bit of peace on this.
No, I don't. I don't. When I say I love it, no, I don't love it. But look, he hasn't been. You can still get him for a couple runs, and I feel very confident that Syndergaard will dominate that Giants lineup.
You think so, huh?
I think he spanks them. I don't think they score a run off Syndergaard. That lineup is not very good. Okay. Let's be real here. The Giants have not been hitting the baseball against top talent pitching. I think the Mets clinch a spot today. You have Bartolo going against Phil Klein. Phil Klein is 0-1 with an 8.22 ERA.
All right.
And they're calling this a bullpen game. So this guy's going to throw 3 or 4 innings, another guy. So, look, I think Bartolo comes back from the bad start last time. They clinch a spot. And then hopefully, a Mets win or a Cardinals loss, the Mets clinch a wild card spot.
Okay.
If the Giants lose, and I think if the Giants lose and the Mets win, the Mets are clinch home field.
All right.
For that game.
What happens if the Mets, clinch it, and then you have St. Louis and San Francisco tied for that last wild card spot? Do they play a 1-game playoff, and then it goes to the wild card game after that?
That would be correct.
Okay, regardless of records and division records.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
the records if there was a 3-way tie, that's when you start worrying about records and whatever. But no, baseball is a sport that still plays it out.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah. So right now it would be, I think if they finish tied, I think it would be the Giants' home game for a tiebreaker. So that's actually the best possible scenario for the Mets, obviously.
Yep.
Is that happens, because then each team has to throw their ace in that game.
You're right.
Each team throws their ace in that game, and then the Mets hold on to Syndergaard. They say, all right, buddy, you're going to go against what's it would still be if the Giants would be Cueto.
Right.
Which I still don't mind. I mean, look, Cueto's very good, but in New York, I'm fine with that. And maybe Samardzija. And then, on the other side, once you have to get through, I don't know who starts that game. I mean, is it Reyes? Is it Alex Reyes? Is it Carlos Martinez? Does Wainwright get the start? You don't know. And none of the Cardinals starters scare me enough that I'm really that worried.
Well, you got the Cardinals bats that are
you have the Cardinals errors and the Cardinals failure to play good baseball consistently through a game. I'm not. I'd rather play the Cardinals. I know it's crazy. I'd rather play the Cardinals than the Giants.
I'm with you on that. Big time.
But I'm not scared. Look, I think the Mets will be a slight favorite in any game at home. And I'll just ride with that.
And the Mets would definitely, if they get by that, obviously would play in Wrigley Field and play the Chicago Cubs after that.
I know, and I know Cubs fans are being all confident and stuff. And look, you're obviously the much better team right now, given. But you're still the Cubs.
You're still the Cubs, exactly.
Until
Dream,
you win it, you're still the Cubs.
Dream, any thoughts on baseball, or did you fall asleep over there?
No thoughts. I'm wondering the under-over on the weaves that are going to be at the Mary J. concerts.
The weaves are going to be popping tonight. The weaves are going to be popping. You're going with over. All right, so I will definitely take your advice, wear some sunglasses in that show tonight. So, moving on here, guys. We've got a big slate of college football, and before we do that, I just want to thank my man, Fast Eddie 72, for sending me all these lovely photos of all these beautiful women. We appreciate that. Big time. So, let's just move right on, and I think that we're going to start this right off, guys, with the beatdown blotter, because we got a very, very big lopsided game today. Dream.
Yes, sir.
The Arkansas Razorbacks are playing at 12 o'clock.
Yes,
They are playing the Alcorn State Braves.
Air McNair's old hometown. Rest in peace, Steve McNair. That's where Steve McNair went to college.
Yes,
Alcorn
sir.
State. Generally, a pretty decent program. It's gone down over the years. I would fully expect the beatdown to be in effect.
Yes, exactly. Well, when you look at this, you've got the Arkansas Razorbacks are minus 53 points in this particular affair at 12 o'clock. And when you look at it here, I don't even have any statistics on this Alcorn State team. I can tell you that Arkansas scores about 32 points a game. They give up 26.5, but what a lopsided conference this is here. Conference matchup is concerned. I just don't know if they have any business giving that many points. So
that's crazy.
It's crazy, right, Dan?
Yes.
That's crazy. Because if you're up 45-7 going into the fourth quarter, you
don't care.
No, you're talking 2-yard run, cloud of dust, 2-yard run, cloud of dust, punt. Because I just 56.5 points.
Oh, you got 56.5.
I thought that's
53
what it was.
53 over here.
Hold on, I thought I saw it at 56. Maybe I was wrong, but even 53.
Yep.
Even 53, and only certain books are even offering this game.
Yeah, right.
Like there are many books that are, because I almost just feel like you got to throw a couple dollars on the plus 53.5.
53.5. Dream, any thoughts on that whatsoever?
None at all.
None at all. You're just going to kind of fall back from that situation.
You don't think Alcorn State, their coach is like, hey, guys, seriously?
What do you say? What do you say to these guys?
Oh, my God, you show them the newspaper. You print out the spread. You go to them and you just be like, yo, they think you are not just bad, but a horrible, horrible team. Because it's not like it's Alabama playing them. We're not talking about,
right,
Louisville or even Clemson or something like that. We're talking about Arkansas that's been known to just not play football.
Right.
Exactly. So, hey, give me Give me Alcorn plus the 53.5.
You're going to take the 53.5.
I'm going to take the 53.5 if I can find someone that'll take my money.
There you go. All right. Well, I don't think anybody has any business getting involved in this game because, like you said, Dan, at some point the foot is going to come off the gas pedal.
I'll 10-point tease it to 63.5.
There you go. Yeah, watch it then. It'll be 70-0.
70-0.
Exactly. So I don't think we have any business getting involved in that game, but we had to talk about it, and I'm just going to continue this segment as we have another lopsided affair here in the Big Ten. We have Rutgers, who are 2-2 going into the Ohio State University. Ohio State Dream minus 38.5 points. I know you're huge on this team this year. I'm usually the guy on Ohio State, but you are this year.
Yeah, I've been very impressed by what they've been able to do, especially offensively. I've been impressed with Urban Meyer's working with a lot less talent, and I like the fact that they're not getting all the limelight that they've gotten in years past, so they're able to do their thing kind of under the radar. So everybody's paying attention to Louisville, and everybody's paying attention to Bama, as always. Jim Harbaugh, with the booger situation going on. So Urban and Ohio State have quietly just been able to go about their business, but to be honest with you, one of the better, well-rounded teams on both sides of the ball. I like what they do defensively. I also like what they're getting done offensively. This team looks to be a powerhouse this year, and I think when the smoke clears, they are going to be probably involved in our playoff situation, as we discussed a little bit yesterday. Now, as far as today's game is concerned, with the 39 points, I mean, you know how I feel about giving any amount of points with any team, because any of these situations can turn into, hey, you know what, we came out flat today. We didn't really want to play. Rutgers came in pumped up, even though I don't think that they're going to be able to have too much success against Ohio State's defense. I'm not going crazy with the 38 points. I think if you want to get involved, like Dan says, take 10 points, throw 10 points on Ohio State, and can get it under 4 touchdowns or at a push at 4 touchdowns. I think you're safe there.
All right. I know a lot of people have been talking to me, including my man Jonesy, about getting these lines under 28. And that would have happened, and he was successful in the Houston-UConn game the other night because of that. So, hey, Terrence Mack, thank you very much for the Mary J picture. I appreciate that. Say, have fun at the concert tonight. So, all good. I'm looking forward to making my money before the concert begins. Dan, what's your thoughts on the Ohio State University, the number 2 team in the land, in the nation right now?
Yeah, I'm high on that team too, but 38. I mean, even getting it under 28, I just could see a bit, like a backdoor cover, even on a 28 number. I don't know why. Rutgers hasn't been playing as bad as they normally have. And this is one of the bigger games for them, I mean, they're going to be hyped. Not that means much. I still think it's going to be a bludgeoning. I just am not comfortable. I don't know if Ohio State's going to beat them by 30, let alone 40. I'm going to stay away from that one.
All right, sounds good. Well, I'm looking at it here, and I can tell you this much, that the last 2 times these two teams have played each other, Ohio State won last year in Rutgers by 42 points. They won 49-7. Obviously, they had a pretty stacked offense in that, last year compared to this year. And the year before that, Ohio State beat them 56-17, beat them by 39 points.
Yeah, and I think that was right after like 6 or 7 guys had gotten suspended. So that's a tough one to look at.
Yeah.
But no, I'm with you. I mean, it could turn really, really ugly.
It could turn very ugly. All right, guys, so we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back, and we'll be talking about our selections. We're going to go through each game piece by piece and have a conversation about the top 25. You're listening to your boys at the SBTV Nation.
Looking to win big this football season? Go to smpicks.com, the #1 sports expert in picking winners. Everyone wants that winning edge. At smpicks.com, you'll get 30 years of experience in picking big winners on all sports with our team of experts. At smpicks.com, it's all about being a winner. Owner Scott Matthews just can't see it any other way. Visit right now at smpicks.com and receive your first huge winner on us absolutely free. That's right, all listeners receive your first huge winner on us, Scott Matthews, a great American. It's absolutely free. That's right, free just by registering at smpicks.com/SBTV.
Hey, sports fans, football season is here, and it's time to get in on the action with MyBookie.net. MyBookie.net is the first and only sports action website with real Vegas odds and incredible player props for all your favorite sporting events. The best part is there are no sign-up fees and no deposits required to join, play, or win. From pro to college football, MyBookie.net lets you play online and win big. There's no better time to join MyBookie than today. Go online to MyBookie.net to open an account to start playing with the big boys. MyBookie has proven to be the most exciting online experience for all sports fans. Get in on the action. Visit MyBookie.net today. Call 844-722-2387. That's 844-722-2387. Or visit MyBookie.net today. MyBookie.net is the real deal. Only the biggest, only the best, only at MyBookie. Sign up today. No deposit necessary. Terms and conditions apply. Play for fun only. Void where prohibited.
DigitalMuscle.com, the fitness industry's media hub, home to the most knowledgeable, influential, and inspiring members of the worldwide fitness community. DigitalMuscle.com, the exclusive home of the Arnold Classic webcast, Pro Bodybuilding Worldwide Radio, and the new Digital Muscle blogosphere. Join us at the fitness industry's media hub, DigitalMuscle.com. DigitalMuscle.com.
Hi, this is Jim Feist in Las Vegas. I've been making my clients money for the past 45 years. I'm releasing a special 3-day trial right now on SBTVNation.com. I've isolated the top 5 college and pro football games on the board, and I absolutely love these games. Go to SBTVNation.com right now and click on the 3-day trial button for your exclusive package of winners.
All right, boys, we're back, and it's time to break down this college football card. Right now, what we're going to do is, as we're doing it, if anybody wants to give us a call, you can feel free. You want to email us, you want to tweet at us, whatever you want to do, we will be more than happy to either take your call, take your message, or do whatever. 972-885-6184. That's 972-885-6184. Feel free to call us, email us, sbtvnation@gmail.com, or tweet at us at sbtvnation. I'm going to start it off with Dr. Dan, because it's been a minute since you've been on the show. So I'd like to hear what you got to say about today's card. What game are you looking at to start off?
Yeah, so I have 4 games that I love today. And I'm being disciplined.
All right.
I'm sticking with these 4. And I will start somewhere that I think the Dream will probably be interested in. And I want to see his opinion on this. I'm all over the Georgia Bulldogs at home today. Okay,
Really?
+4. +4. Here's why. Tennessee has not played a road game yet.
Okay.
We're talking about a team that barely beat Appalachian State.
Yep.
They looked okay against Vatech. It's Vatech. They looked like garbage against Ohio. And then they had a good, nice comeback win against Florida. Now they go on the road for the first time all year. And I know that there's no Chubb. Next man up. It'll be fine. And Georgia, on the other hand, is 3-1. And the only home game was Nichols, which doesn't count. They're talking about at North Carolina, a win. At Missouri, a win. You know, the Ole Miss, obviously, debacle last week. But Ole Miss is a great team. And I think Georgia wins this game at home against Tennessee, and I'll like that 4 points all day.
Dream.
Yes.
What's your thoughts on that in the SEC?
Not so fast.
Really?
Excuse me. I'm sorry. You know, and don't get me wrong. I've talked about Tennessee's not being that great and being overrated. This spot just is very tricky for me. First of all, the loss of Nick Chubb. I know we say next man up, but 83 carries for 422 yards.
Oh, he's dope.
Big part of your offense.
But is it the O-line?
Oh, no. A little bit of both. I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, you're averaging 196 yards on the ground, so the run game is definitely a big proponent of what you want to do. On the flip side of that, you look at what, Tennessee wants to do. Tennessee wants to run the ball as well. Generally, we saw this with LSU versus Wisconsin. A run team usually knows how to stop a run team for the most part. Then when you take out your number one running back and implement the backups, could be a little bit of an issue. I don't dislike Georgia, and I don't like Georgia. I just don't like this game. I think it's very, very tricky. And while we talk about Tennessee was very ranked high this season, expected to be, a very good team this season, and underachieved for the most part up until last week when they reared their head finally against Florida. Obviously, we got a little bit of momentum with Ohio and Virginia Tech too. Florida, a little bit more momentum in that machine. Maybe they are finding their stride a little bit. I've never been a big fan of Georgia's offense. Still am not. Ole Miss was able to get it done. I'd be careful here.
All right. Dan, I'm actually pretty impressed that you picked this game out because I've been looking at this game too. And, my son is a massive college football fan. I mean, he could sit on the couch for probably 14 hours straight and watch college football, and he probably knows. I put his knowledge up against most people, to be honest with you. Him and I looked at this game, and we're both on the same side. I think that I just don't know. I think Tennessee's overrated. I think Georgia at home as an underdog, I think they have a good shot at winning this game outright. I really do. Nice. You get the 4.5 points. I'm with you on it. Don't necessarily know I'm going to play it or not. I may do a teaser and get it up to maybe like an 11.5, something along those lines.
14.5?
Yeah, I mean, something along those lines. But I'm with you. I like the Georgia Bulldogs today. I think that they may pull the upset and knock Tennessee down in the rankings. I really do. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a very dangerous game. Anytime you get these SEC teams, they all know each other really well. And going into another team's house, it could be problematic for them. And I think that you've got a really good chance at winning if you are a Georgia fan. So, Dan, I wish you the best of luck. I may or may not be with you on that. I will text you when it gets closer to game time.
Pat, we got to do that old thing we did last week. There is a reason why.
Yeah, I know.
Our favorite it. And also keep in mind that while Tennessee is, overrated, they still haven't lost this season. They've been in tight games.
I know.
Still have managed to win and find a way to win.
Yeah. Also, I just think the level of competition Georgia's faced is just head and shoulders, puts them in a better position, especially at home.
Last point,
yep.
Georgia's coaching staff. There's a coaching change this year, so I don't know how this guy feels as far as his familiarity with the Tennessee Vols and as far as the SEC is concerned. So keep that in mind when you're playing. I think this is a nasty game to get involved in.
It is a nasty game. It very much is. So there might be other spots where we can make some easier decisions. So I'm going to move it over to you, Dream.
Mary J again?
Mary J again, brother. Come on, I'm getting ready, man. I'm getting ready. I've been a big Mary J fan all my life. So, Dream,
yes.
Talk to me about the game that's up your sleeve.
Well, as far as I'm concerned today, the first game, because we know a little bit about one of the games that's up my sleeve, but the first game that I want to look at, I'm actually jumping on. I do like the Florida Gators to bounce back today against the Vanderbilt Commodores. Talked about this Vanderbilt team being good, seen them live and know that they're not good. Florida came up very short last week. They need a bounce back situation. Got embarrassed last week. Well, not embarrassed. I mean, they got beat, but not embarrassed. I think in some respects we may say that they got embarrassed because we expected them to win. But caught a loss last week in Tennessee. Now they go to Vanderbilt. I don't see them having the same kind of problems with this Vanderbilt team. Vanderbilt's going to look to try to run the ball. I don't think they'll have any success. Florida's defense, I expect to completely dominate this game. I expect Florida to bounce back in this particular situation. I like Florida to beat the Vanderbilt Commodores today.
Dream, that's a great spot.
Yep.
Florida minus 11.
Yep.
With an under over a 40.5 points. I agree with you 100%. I did definitely pay attention to Vanderbilt after you said that, and sure enough, they've been getting their doors blown off by certain teams that are not the caliber of Florida. And Florida with that defense, I mean, only giving up 13 points a game, and obviously the anomaly being that they were up so huge in the Tennessee game and gave up that big lead because the defense was on the field quite a bit some time in the second half. I like Florida bounce back. Even if Florida, with that loss, they're still alive for a playoff run.
Sure they are. And one
it.
good point that you just made is one more thing to think about when you talk about that Tennessee game, Georgia's defense is nowhere near as good as Florida's defense.
Right.
I would be very careful with this Florida Vandy game.
Yeah? Talk to me, Dan.
Look, I like the under in this game a lot.
Okay.
I'm not giving 11 points.
Yeah, no, I know you're not. I know you're not. Here's just my thoughts, right? Is Florida played UMass, and that game, I mean, they put up 24 points, but they did not look good. They beat the hell out of Kentucky at home. Okay, great. They shut out North Texas at home. Okay, great. And then they get their world rocked by Tennessee, who I don't think is a great team. And I don't think that they lose to Vanderbilt. I'm just saying, on the road, Vanderbilt can still play some defense. Their losses are at Georgia State and that weird one home, the first week against South Carolina. I'm just saying this game scares me. So if you're on the points for this game, I don't know. I mean, I couldn't even do it. Look, I wouldn't even take this game as a pick. There's something telling me that Vanderbilt is going to hang in there till the end.
Dream. So you're looking at, are you getting involved in a teaser? What are you doing with this?
I probably am going to moneyline this, and it doesn't pay very well for those of you that are penny pinchers, coupon cutters. Go to the supermarket today. You're not going to like what I'm doing because I'm probably doing a 2-team moneyline parlay, and I'm putting up a lot of loot to make not that much.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
That's where I'm living.
You're gonna have to do a 3-teamer to make some money.
Oh, I'm not. I don't have to.
See,
yeah.
On the money, I mean,
I'm not cheap.
Yeah. All right. Got it. Well, unless you get a team that's giving a lower point spread, then then it would make some money, or you get some baseball involved in it, or something like that. But
if you like two other teams, get the 10 points. I mean, you're basically a pick at that point anyway.
Yeah. Good point. I also agree with you, Dream. I think Florida beats the brakes off of Vandy today. I really do. So I think I'm on the same side as you guys on a lot of this stuff here. And last year when these two teams played each other, I remember this game, 9-7 Florida final score. But I think Florida has definitely graduated offensively this year. I think they've been a way better offensive team than they were last year. Dream, I mean their offense last year was anemic.
Yeah, it was anemic. I don't love their offense. It's just I know how bad this Vanderbilt team is. You know what I'm saying? After seeing them live and seeing them attempt to execute and not being able to do anything successfully on the field, I'm more basing my play on how bad Vanderbilt is than how good Florida is.
I know. I'm just very concerned after last week. There's a letdown. They have LSU at home the next week. I know LSU kind of stinks, but that's still a big look-ahead spot. I just don't like this spot for Florida.
All right. Sounds good. So we're looking at the card today, and we are going to move on to the next game, and it's my turn to talk about something. This is a team I talk about each and every week, and it's one of the biggest games on the slate. Obviously, there's 3 separate matchups that are all in the top 10. We saw one last night with Washington beating the snot out of Stanford. Obviously, we got the big one we're going to talk about later on, but we got to talk about number 8 Wisconsin at number 4 Michigan in Ann Arbor in the Big House. Both teams are 4-0, 1-0 in the Big Ten. Michigan is minus 11 points with an under-over of 44.5. You know what? I'm looking at Michigan here. I don't like giving the 11 points, but I am going to definitely ride Michigan to win the game. I just don't know how I'm going to piece this play together yet. I think the defense is going to keep them in the game. I think the game versus Colorado, Dream, you made a good point last week that the game versus Colorado kind of spooked them a little bit and kind of made them adjust their game plan a little bit to not be so careless out there. And they got the job done, and they murdered Penn State. These guys have not traveled anywhere. This is their 5th game at home in a row. So I think if you look at this, and Wisconsin's already traveled quite a bit. So I like Michigan to get it done. I just don't know where I'm going to do it yet. I may get it down to I may do one of those 3-team 10-point teasers or something like that. I might get Michigan just to win outright or minus 1 point. Dream, what's your thoughts on Harbizzle?
I absolutely love Michigan today. Michigan is the second piece of the money line parlay that doesn't pay any money. All right, so relax, because I know I'm going to hear some flack about that.
Yes, you are.
Just letting you guys know, this is how I'm getting down. Like, I don't really want a stomachache today, okay? I want to have these games. I want to.
Why don't you just go to Mary J. Blige with Hatter?
There you go.
No, because my excitement is going to be later on this evening, but I'm trying to get this little bit of early money. I do like Michigan to win. I do hate their spread, though. I do think Wisconsin is a tad bit overrated. Saw them struggle with that Georgia State team. Yes, they did beat LSU on the road. Kind of impressive. But I don't think that they've seen the likes of Michigan this season. Michigan's defense looks primed. I think that Harbaugh will have these guys ready to go. I like Michigan today, and I'm taking them on the money line.
All right. Sounds good. I got Big Mike out there in Columbus waiting for the Ohio State University homecoming game. What's going on, brother? It's going to be a beatdown. Or what Dream calls a crime scene, I believe. So that's pretty much what's going to go down in that
Michigan
particular...
about to beat the brakes off Wisconsin, though.
All right. Somebody's asking me, who's this? Frank out of San Francisco is asking me about the Illini today. Good looking. Good looking. I am not with the Illini today, boys. Just so you know. Get an ass whooping with that one.
That was his undercover squad.
That was my undercover squad, and they are getting 20 points from the Nebraska Cornhuskers, and I got a news for you. I just don't know if the Illini has it. You know what? They were doing really good up until game 2, and then all of a sudden they were up in that North Carolina game. North Carolina ended up just blowing them out in the fourth quarter, and ever since then they just have not been the same.
Yeah, they had a great game against Murray State.
Yeah, right. Great game versus Murray State, exactly, where they won, I believe, 52-0. So,
hey, real quick, I just want to go back to that Michigan game real quick.
Yes.
Because I'm with you guys. I don't hate the points though. I think the best thing that ever could have happened was Wisconsin beating the hell out of Michigan State for Michigan. Because you know that Harbaugh is making them fear getting embarrassed.
Good point, Dan.
You know, I just think that you're not going to overlook that team. And again, like you said, very comfortable at home. Very comfortable.
Yes, exactly. All right, so moving on. Whose turn is it? I think it's yours, Dan.
I think it is.
What do you got?
I got another 330 that I like. Let me just and now I actually locked this game in yesterday because I was very confused as to the spread. So I got West Virginia minus 2.5. 3-0 West Virginia at home against K-State.
Oh wow.
Minus 2.5.
Wow.
I think that West Virginia is by far the better team.
Okay.
Home, Morgantown is one of the toughest places to play in the country.
I agree.
They always perform well there. I think the talent, I think West Virginia outmatches them on talent. And again, I'm that line shocked me, but 2.5 points, I'm good with that. I think they cover that easy.
Yeah, they've won their last 5 games at home. And I do agree with you. That is a very tough place to play. These two teams know each other pretty well. And last year, West Virginia only lost by 1 point in K-State. So you're going to have some little bit of revenge on their minds.
The small issue that when I look at this game, the small opinion that I do have on it, which I don't have much, and I think that you're going to be okay. The only thing is West Virginia is going to look to run the ball. Kansas State has a very good run defense. So West Virginia is going to have to put the ball in the air and get it down the field to loosen that up a little bit. Hopefully they won't be stubborn and still try to get that runoff. And, defensively, Kansas State is pretty sound. If you look at their defense, yards allowed 106 through the air. Then you go to the rushing game, 72 yards allowed on the ground. So the defense should be up to the task. I always talk about defensive teams travel much better than offensive teams. So that would be my only little concern with this game. But I think West Virginia, as you say, hard place to play. This is somewhat of a tad little small rivalry type situation over through the years. So there'll be a little bit more incentive for West Virginia as far as their coaching staff getting their kids up to play. I think you should be able to get this win, though.
All right. I think I got my man Charlie from Direct Sports Solutions on the line. Good morning to you, Charlie.
Good morning, boys. How y'all doing?
Oh, we're fantastic.
Hey, what's going on?
Mr. Charlie, what's up, man?
What's up, Dream? How you doing?
I'm doing well, brother.
Ready to cash today?
This week. Yes, definitely ready to cash. Sorry I missed you guys this week, but we'll be back next week.
Awesome. I know a lot of people are excited to have you on the show with us. It's a lot of fun.
All right, fantastic. So, Charlie, what do you got up your sleeve today?
Well, we've got a couple things. We've got 2 picks going out today, and the members' picks gone out. I've got a second pick that I've got here that I'm pretty high on, and I'd like to be happy to give that to the audience. Play it if you like. We will probably send this pick out as our second pick today. It's San Jose State and New Mexico. Again, these games are not the big touted games a lot of people looking at, but this team, San Jose State, has had a couple of changes recently that we believe are going to come back into play in their favor today. Kenny Potter back at quarterback. He is the leader of that team. And they've had a new defensive coordinator come in this year who had Ron English with a big background of stopping the run. And this team historically, defensively, could stop the pass very well. They were solid the last several years stopping the pass. Lost their way a little bit against Iowa State, but we believe they're going to bounce back big time tonight against New Mexico, and we are on San Jose State plus the points tonight. And we feel very, very solid about that bet.
All right.
So it's a strange one. It's out there. People don't look at it a lot, but we're going to be on that one.
Okay. Fantastic. And you got anything else? Or is that your big play today?
That won't be the big play. The other game that we're –
sorry to cut you off, but we got to get your thoughts on Louisville, Clemson.
Yes, because we're going to go right into that
All
next.
Right. That's a good one. That's going to be. I loved the show the other day. You guys were going back and forth about that ball game, and man, it doesn't get any bigger than that. At this point in the season, and Louisville, all the momentum. They've got tremendous athletes, lots of speed. Going in there and playing, it's that's going to be a big task, and you're going to find out a lot about Louisville tonight and whether or not they're for real. And I know all the folks here in Houston are just chomping at the bit, wanting Louisville to win that game because they really need strength of schedule, victories in that game. It's going to be tight in my mind, but I'm kind of leaning Louisville a little bit. I just think that the athletes are going to take over in that game, and I think they've got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. I'm leaning Louisville.
All right, that's what we want to hear. And, Mr. Charlie, one last thing, because this game is so big this evening, we want to know what your under and over thought will be at the Weaves at the Mary J. Blige concert that Hat will be at. With the team.
Yeah, that's a tough one there. We've put it through the numbers back and forth, and, the machine got hung up and just wouldn't spit it out. And I've been hitting it ever since. I don't know what to tell you there, Rob. That's a tough one. Maybe under. I lean to the under.
Oh, wow. The under in the Weaves in the Mary J. concert. All right. Well, Charlie, thank you so much for calling us. We appreciate it, and we look forward to getting on your show on Thursday evenings in Houston.
Thursday in Houston. Hey, you guys have a great weekend. Let's cash.
All right. Sounds good,
buddy.
brother. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
All right, boys. Since we were talking about the big game, let's have a conversation about it. We've got the Louisville Cardinal going into Death Valley to play Clemson. Louisville is favored -1.5, creating a home team underdog on primetime. Under over is 68 points. Dream, you've been foaming at the mouth all week long on this one. So I would like to know your thoughts. I mean, we got a lot of your thoughts yesterday, but final predictions on this particular game.
Loch Ness Monster, Abominable Snowman, Sasquatch. What else is happening? UFOs, the Grays.
Yeah.
What else is happening with this game going on? Every phenomenon you could wish for is going on. Live movement is out there. The one thing that I didn't talk about yesterday, but I wanted to mention today, and that's the last thing in regards to Clemson and Deshaun Watson as far as he is concerned. He's been talked about in the media. He has talked about not wanting to be looked at as a dual threat QB.
Okay.
Which to me means that he is kind of bending and getting involved with his critics a little bit too much. And in times when he should opt to run, is staying in the pocket, attempting to be a pocket passer, which is probably hurting that offense, so to say. I mean, we talked a little bit about yesterday about how this offense has not quite found a rhythm yet and not moved like it's moved in the past. And you might also point to that as a direct additive to as is why as it's not. Now, on the other side of the ball, my boy Action Jackson said, call me what you want, just don't call me a loser.
Yes.
As he's been tearing it up. And you guys know I love this Louisville team. I think, like Mr. Charlie said, they've got a lot of speed, a lot of athletes, and they have, we also haven't talked enough about Bobby Petrino finally having a thoroughbred and proving that he is a good coach as well.
Okay. So you're on the Louisville Cardinal to get it done.
Big time.
Why don't you throw that into your three, make that a 3-team?
No.
No? What's the difference? Just curious.
The difference is I want that money. I want that money first.
You want that money first.
And I don't want to mix the plates. Listen, I have my own.
All right, hey, you know what? You've been doing it a long time now, a couple decades of gambling, so I understand. Dan, talk to me about the 4-0 Louisville Cardinal versus the 4-0 Clemson Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Clemson's been looking ahead to this game all year, but they just haven't looked right. I mean, look, I know that Clemson is 4-0, but Auburn, that was like they escaped with their lives. Troy, they escaped with their lives at home.
Yeah, Troy.
But Auburn, it was only a 19-13 win. And Auburn stinks.
Good point.
South Carolina State, we got to look at that. And then Georgia Tech, okay, great. You actually decided to defend the triple option.
Only in the first half.
Well, that's very true. And, you're talking about a team in Clemson that's putting up 60 points a game. 60 points a game. And I think this is going to be competitive through the first half. I think Louisville pulls away in the second half.
You do?
I really do. I think that they have the preeminent talent in college football. I just think that they have the better players in the lines, especially offensively. It scares me that it's at Clemson. Don't get me wrong. That's scary. But at the same time, I think Louisville gets it done. I think they get it done. I think they're tested already in this young season.
All right. Sounds good. Well, guys, I am not going to be putting my money on this game. I decided to
because you're going to be jamming the Mary Jane.
I'm going to be at a concert.
You having no more tears. Not going to cry no more.
Not going to cry no more. Exactly.
But listen, one of the main reasons why I do want to separate this game is a game. It's under a field goal. So I can play this game by itself.
Yeah, good point.
You know what I mean? Okay. And so I don't want to mix it in with anything else. The other two games, if they were under field goals, I wouldn't put them together either. Generally, when I put games together, it's because I don't feel like dealing with the points. And in this situation, I don't have a problem with the points. And, Dan, I hear you with the second half, but I do think that Louisville will probably, Clemson starts slow.
Yeah.
I think Louisville, I would not be surprised if Louisville's 14-3 at the half going in and then like you said, really getting at it, in the second half. But Louisville is up for this game. I'm worrying about Clemson's defensive line being able to
do anything.
Pass rush. I think Louisville's offensive line are going to have some success blocking, as I seen some schemes yesterday that bothered me a little bit on some film that I saw on ESPN that they were showing. I just think that Louisville is going to really be all over this team. And you talk about a team that's going to be up. This Louisville Cardinal team is really up and excited for this game. And they, the lights in Death Valley are going to be bright. I think that may have an effect, like I said, even to Mr. Weaver. 1 to 2 snaps, maybe 1 to 2 possessions. After that, you realize you're on the football field. Let's go.
All right.
Yeah, the only thing I worry about is they are really amped for this game. It's obviously the biggest game of a lot of these guys' careers to this point. Keep your emotions in check. We know that kids can be kids. Because the thing is, if you get an early, late hit, you do something. You do not want to energize Clemson. They've been walking through kind of malaise this season. You do not want to wake them up.
All right.
No, you're right. But I know, and not to, because I know how you want to move on, but not to push the point of this game even more. But this team seems like when their emotions are up, they execute that much better. Now I know the
very true
was at home in Louisville, but just think about it, man. They were up for Florida State. They went out there and handled that business. So I would say that even if their emotions get a little bit high, they seem to be able to live off of that excitement and maybe even raise their game level up that much more, which makes it even scarier for.
Oh, I completely agree. I'm just saying, just keep it in check. Don't take it too far.
All right. Sounds good. So, guys, a couple of games that are on my radar here. I've got Western Michigan, who is 4-0. This team has been really good. They went into Champaign and beat the snot out of the Illini. And they're going into Central Michigan. Now, everybody knows Central Michigan. They did beat Oklahoma State in that wild game. This is a big rivalry here, but I think Western Michigan is the real deal. I think this team will make a pretty decent bowl this year. I'm going to ride Western Michigan today. And they're minus 3.5 points. Obviously, we never play with those numbers. We're going to get it down to 2.5, and that's what I'm looking at. Also, we got a skybox over at the Yale game today, and I can tell you this much, that Yale sucks this year, guys. Brutal team they have. They've scored 26 points and given up 82. They are playing, I believe they're playing Lehigh today. Lehigh's given 7.5. I would not expect Yale to show up today. I think Yale's going to get pounded. So I think Lehigh is the move today. Maybe getting that in a money line parlay as well. So we got a couple of minutes left. I want to go through. Dan, I'm going to kick it over to you and see what you got, because you said you had some other games.
Yeah, I got 2 more. I have the number 18 Utah Utes.
The Utah Utes.
In a pick'em going into the 2-2 California Golden Bears.
All right.
Okay. I understand it's a road game. I understand that maybe people aren't as high on Utah, but we're talking about a Cal team that lost at San Diego State. They lost at Arizona State. They give up so many points. And Utah, I think their defense is solid enough to completely stop Cal on the road. We just heard how solid, the San Jose State team supposedly is. They stomped them. Utah's a team, I think they saw what Washington did last night, obviously. And their coach is like, you know what? That should give you even more motivation to go into this game because, I just think they get a big win on the road today. And I'll take them as a pick all day.
Dream, your thoughts on the big pack matchup?
I agree with them. I like Utah today. Utah's defense is excellent. 315 yards allowed, 182 through the air, 132 on the ground. Definitely successful. This Cal team, to me, they got that win over Texas. Other than that, they have not been impressive this season. Lost to Arizona State, lost to San Diego State. I think Utah comes in. They play sound, good, hard-nosed type football. Look for Utah to rush the ball. Moss has been pretty dynamic this season, 47 carries with 243 yards. I definitely think Utah gets this done. I agree with you 100%. And now that you just mentioned it, I'm just jotting it down on my piece of paper because this may get involved with some of my plays today.
All right. So looking at one thing that I want to read off, guys, LSU running back Leonard Fournette is very doubtful for tonight's game with Missouri. A source just told ESPN that, I guess.
He's probably doubtful for the rest of the season now that LSU's out of it.
Yeah,
Let's be realistic.
Injured his ankle in the fourth quarter of last week's loss versus Auburn.
Well, he better play. He wants to go to the NFL, so he needs to go get some footage out there.
Yeah, exactly.
No, running backs don't get drafted anyway, so just sit out and be like, oh, I'm healthy.
All right. Sir Mata is looking at this Western Michigan team with me. This team is good.
This team is good. It might be a stomach ache, and they did win by 2 points last year, but that's what we're looking at. Dream, you got anything else?
Yeah, one of the games on my radar, which I am just still trying to figure out, and I know I've seen a couple of people. I know Fast Eddie talked about this South Carolina team. Texas A&M is coming into South Carolina today. I don't know, I think, the line's at 17.5, and I'm not the big, this line's wrong, so I don't do that. Look, I try to play who the best team is and get the line out of the equation. That's how I do it. I don't usually get frightened by a line. To me, Texas A&M is hands down way better than South Carolina. I mean, on any given Sunday, Texas A&M is hugely better than South Carolina. South Carolina's team is in the middle of, reinventing themselves, obviously losing Spurrier in the middle of the season last year, trying to get this season together. They already lost to a bad Kentucky team. They lost to Mississippi State. They weren't able to beat Eastern Carolina, which is a little bit impressive. We talked about how bad Vandy was in a game that they should have lost to Vandy as well. I mean, Texas A&M, I don't need to really talk about them as far as UCLA beat, Auburn beat, Arkansas beat. So unless Texas A&M, I think if you think they're going to fall asleep, you can get this under a touchdown. To me, this rolls. So this may be, you guys may have now talked me into, as I'm talking on the show, I may move with the Michigan, Florida, and Texas A&M in a 3-team teaser with maybe, I think, 11 points.
Okay. That's cool. So that'll pay a lot better than what we were doing before. All right. Sounds good. And Dan, I'm going to kick it over to you for one more selection.
Yeah, so this one, I think I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but it's kind of an undercover pick. Washington State plus 2.5.
Washington
at home against the Oregon Ducks.
Okay.
Not this is a team that came off, a bad beat at Boise, 3 points. I mean, whenever you get that close at Boise State, this is a team that has lost. They're 1-2, but they've lost their 2 games by a combined total of 5 points. And Eastern Washington, Boise State, and then they bludgeoned Idaho last week and beat them by 50 at home. I know you guys don't love this Oregon team either.
I don't.
And I think Washington State, another home dog, getting some points. I like them, man. I like them. I think they have the better coach right now. And they'll get it done.
Well, the challenge I have with Oregon is that they go for 2 on every single touchdown and don't always make it. And that was one of the deciding factors in the last couple of games here. This Oregon team actually lost to Washington State last year in October, Dan, in Oregon. And I don't think Oregon's gotten much better, to be honest with you. So you might be onto something there. I'm going to have to respectfully decline putting my money on it, but I wish you the best of luck. Dream, anything?
No, I happen to think I think Oregon's overrated. I think they're overrated, and I haven't felt Oregon since last year in the bowl game when So I'd love nothing more than to see them get beat, but I think Oregon is overrated, and I am foaming at the mouth, actually waiting for Washington to play them, because I want to see Washington beat Oregon down.
All right, sounds good. So other than that, I think we've covered everything, guys. So it's been
I
a great
have one
show.
last game that I want to talk about for a second.
Yep.
I know we have a lot of Texas interest on this program, as well as we do a little bit of freelancing in Texas ourselves. Yes. You have the Longhorns playing the Oklahoma State Cowboys today, at 12 p.m. This is a big spot for Texas. Texas caught the loss against Cal. They need to bounce back, and Coach Strong has to have a successful season this year for this team to flourish and for him to solidify his job. He's, by the way, he's probably the 3rd highest paid coach in college football right now, believe it or not. And this team has not really lived up to what it's supposed to be. This is a big game for them. He has to get this team up. This team should travel. Well, it's not far going into Oklahoma State. It's a somewhat of a small rivalry. I do think that if Texas does what they're supposed to do and they're able to execute like they can execute, I think Texas defensively has an upper hand in this particular matchup. I think they'll be able to handle this Oklahoma State defensively, as they should not be able to let Oklahoma's run game get too effective. And then they will force Oklahoma into the air. I think that that may be a problem for Oklahoma State. I think that Texas's defense should be able to capitalize on that. I think that Texas also will be able to move this ball on Oklahoma State's defense. I like Texas to win this game.
All right, here's the.
Go
ahead, Dan.
Don't.
You don't. Huh?
Dude, I mean, Texas. Even when they beat Notre Dame, they gave up 47 points. They lost to Cal. They gave up 50. I'm not looking at that UTEP game because that's a joke to me. So in the two real games they played, they've given up 97 points. Oklahoma State's offense has been pretty good. I mean, you're talking about a team, they lost to a pretty good Central Michigan team by 3 and at Baylor. This is a team that put up 45 points and beat Pitt. This is their home game. I mean, I think that Oklahoma State scores a ton of points today, and I think Texas goes down.
Here's the only challenge I have with your pick here, Dream. Texas in the Charlie Strong era, in the last 7 games on the road, they've only won 1 of them.
I agree. I know.
It sucks.
I know.
That's brutal. So they're not playing well on the road at all.
They're not. But I think that I think that they have some advantages in this game. It's not one. It's not in my wagering queue, but I'm just bringing the game up because I know some people are getting involved in it, and for some reason, I think Texas gets it done today.
You got a lot of tangibles there, Dream?
I got some tangibles. Just. We don't get real deep and in depth in the behind the scenes as far as our homework is concerned, but just a few things that Texas does scheme wise to me. I think they're going to have some success against Oklahoma State. That's just obviously my opinion, so we'll have to watch it out and see what happens. But like I said, it's more of a watch game, not necessarily get involved. If you're taking Oklahoma State, maybe I'm running you off, which is kind of what I'm trying to do because I think that Texas has an advantage here.
All right, sounds good, guys. So I got to get my ass over to the Yale game right now. So let's kick it off here. We'll do our closeouts. Dan, I'm going to start with you with your 4 games. We'll kick it over to the Dream and then myself at the end.
Yep. So the games that I'm rolling with, all with the points. West Virginia minus 2.5. Georgia plus the 4 points. Wash State plus 2.5. And Utah as a pick. Best of luck, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow morning.
Dream, talk to me. What are you on?
Yes, sir. First of all, I want to thank everybody that's retweeted the show this morning, got up with us on Saturday. We got OJ, FB, Keem, VU, Terrence, Mac, Norbert, Direct Sports Solution, Rigetti, Jay Snyder, Mo Diggs, Shane Whitehead. We also have Joseph Del Rosario, JDH24, Derry Bouchard, JP, Jeff Ryan, G Rose, Mind Funk's in the house, JC, Sir Mata's out there, Almighty Kev, Vegas Girl 92661, J Cash Fast 8072, and so many more. Thank you to Mr. Charlie over at Direct Sports Solution for calling us in and gracing us with his telephone call today. As far as I'm concerned with plays, guys, it's looking like Florida, Michigan, Texas A&M, Moneyline Parlay, teaser, whatever. Those are the 3 that I'm looking at right now. And then the big one tonight, as I am pressing my Clemson shirt along with the hat that Scott Weaver sent me, pressing it, getting it nice and ready, getting some popcorn, gonna shine it up real good and spill popcorn all over the shirt as I celebrate Louisville going up and down the field on that ass tonight. I love the Louisville Cardinals. Gang, I'm the Dream. Always remember who you with and make the most of each and every day because you cannot get this time back.
All right, so my 3 winners that I'm putting together today are as follows. Dream, I'm going to take 2 of your 3. I'm going to take Mr. Harbizzle and the Michigan Wolverines to beat Wisconsin in a stomachache game. I am going to take the Florida Gators. I think they wiped the floor with Vandy. I might even lay that points. I don't know yet. And I'm looking at Western Michigan to get the job done in Central Mich. So I'm looking at 2 stomach aches and a blowout. That's what I'm looking at. I'm going to put those 3 together, and I believe it pays like plus 150 putting those 3 together. So that's where I'm at. So, guys, hey, thank you very much for listening to the biggest show in the world. We always appreciate it, and we appreciate every single person that gets up with us each and every day. Guys, you know who you are. We love you out there. Whatever it is, be careful today. We got a full slate of NFL tomorrow. We'll be taking your calls yet again and taking your comments on social media as we're doing the show live. Big slate tomorrow. Whatever you do, make all your dreams a damn reality and get that money. Let's go.
Peace.